Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video, I'm going to be sharing how I prep for our homeschool week. If you're new to my channel, my name is Ashley. I have a 4th grader, 2nd grader, and preschool. I am a full-time working mom. I work from home, but I do work 40 hours a week. We have a pretty non-traditional homeschool schedule. We only schedule and plan official homeschool curriculum 3 days a week, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That is because Monday and Friday my kids are normally participating in co-op activities, and then we have our weekends off. We have done a variety of different schedules, but ultimately it's always been 3 to 4 days a week. When we first started homeschooling, we did use Saturdays as a homeschool day, but we just really take now those 3 days of the week, we plan it out, which is what you're about to see. We get our work done, and that's just how it has worked for us. This schedule is really going to be specific to my 4th and 2nd grader. I don't plan anything for my preschooler, so you're not going to see any of that on this schedule. I have always planned just 1 week in advance. Anything more than that, I feel like I just set myself up to fail. And if I don't start my week getting planned, then I really kind of get frustrated, especially trying to balance things while working. So I plan 1 week at a time. I've tried doing things like my kids having their own planners, and I would just fill out their planners for the week on what they needed to do. And that worked really great, especially when we had a lot of separate curriculum, when they were both doing completely separate things. But this year and going into our next year, we do so much stuff together. Really, there's more that we do together than they do, independent of each other or me. And so it just made sense for me to have one weekly schedule with everything on it, and then I kind of just check it off of what needs to get done. I have been using a printable from Willow Tree Schoolhouse. I've shared that before. I'll share that link down below, where I would just print out the pages and write down, and that was working fine. But recently I found a website called homeschoolplanet.com, and they have a complete online scheduling system, which it's insane. I will do an entire video just directly on that program because there's so much to it, but I'm going to show you a quick glimpse in just how I use it to schedule a week, which is just the bare minimum of what this system can do. So this is the example from last week, and this is what it prints out. So I schedule it online, but then I can print out this weekly schedule. So I still get my paper checklist that I'm used to. Now, I could just do this digitally. I could pull this up on my phone, on my iPad, on my computer, and mark it off, but I'm not there yet. I'm not giving up the physical check it off. I just really like that. I like to-do list, and so that is something that I am trying out right now. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I create this week's schedule and just how I prepare to make sure that we can just jump into our studies. So I always start by just grabbing what curriculum we're using. If there's teacher's guides or books, I keep it in one of my homeschool carts. It's just an easy bin. I just grab it. We are at the end of our homeschool year. I think less than 4 weeks away, which is super exciting. But on that same note, we have started finishing some of our curriculum. So our schedule and curriculum is very light as we are wrapping up our school year. So this is not what our schedule probably looked like 3 months ago. We had a lot more going on, but like I said, we are easing away, chipping away at some of our curriculum, and so this is a very condensed version of our homeschool schedule. In here I have things like our unit studies, vocabulary, books we're reading, a new unit study that we're going to start this week. So I'm going to kind of walk you through that process. I'll be sharing my screen and kind of talking through some of those things that I do. All right, so I just logged into it's called homeschoolplanet.com. I just logged into my planner, and I don't think I updated it from the end of last week. And so as soon as I log in, it's like, hey, did you guys actually do these assignments? So these are all of our assignments from Thursday that I did not mark off, but we did complete them. So I'm going to say mark as complete for all of them. But if we did not complete them, this scheduling system is really advanced. It would say, oh, just delete them or carry them forward. You can either double it up on your next day or move your entire schedule. So that's just a very small glimpse of what it can do. But I'm just saying mark them as complete because we are done with that. So I'm gonna go back and show you last week. It's kind of all like grayed out a little bit because we're done. That was last week. But I just wanted to show you an example of how I had this scheduled out. And so I have together both my daughters, we do our language arts word roots, we have our moving beyond the page unit, we have our science unit, handwriting, and math that we get into individual. And then I even added on just some like various appointments and things that we had. So on Tuesday, the girls had a dentist appointment. And on Thursday, Mila had a crochet class. And then they had their country presentations at their co-op. So just kind of little things that I've been playing around with. I just have started using this. And like I said, there's a lot to it. My main goal was to use this for the upcoming school year and plan out generally our entire school year. But I was like, you know what? Why not try it out for the remainder of this school year, the last couple weeks? So I am going to go to this current week. I already have my older daughter's math. The reason I scheduled out her math was because I was trying to estimate our last day of school. Really, her curriculum is the last thing that we have to wrap up. My other daughter already finished her math, and we're just kind of doing unit studies and other things that we can stop whenever and pick back up. So it's really her math that is guiding the end of our school year. And so what I did is I just planned that out for the rest of the school year. So what I do now is I have my stack of curriculum, like I talked about. I always have that. So this is where my stacks of curriculum come in handy. So I have my word roots book. I just kind of flip and say, okay, what page did we end on? What pages are we going to do? And then that's what I type in on our schedule. I'm going to give you just a quick example. So I click on Tuesday and I'm going to do a class, and this is language arts, and we're going to do word roots, and this is for both Emma and Mila, and we only do selected days of the week. We do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And we are going to start it this week, April 24th. And actually, I'm just going to push it out until, oops, why is that? We'll do until May 18th, 2023. So what this will do is this will create an assignment for word roots for all of these days. Now, when you're planning out curriculum, you could add a lesson to every day. So especially if you were starting on day 1, you could do lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, and have it pre-fill all of that. Because I'm jumping in at the end of the year and it's kind of all over the place, I just manually type these in. It's no big deal. And I can just type in the ones for this week because sometimes we do more pages than I assign, just depending on the lesson. So I'll give it a good judge of what pages I think we can complete. And then I can leave them blank and just update it per week. So I'm only going to do, here it is. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And so these are the final weeks in our homeschool. And so what I can do here is I can just add in like my standard. So I can do complete lesson blank and page blank, right? So because I'm putting that in and put add to all of them, yes, make them all the same. I'm gonna add 12 assignments, perfect. So it just filled those in. It just saves me some typing, that's it. So now I can go in my book and I say, okay, we're on lesson 6, page 16, and we're probably gonna do page 16 and 17. See, and these ones I'm going to leave blank because they'll create the record, but I will come in next week and just add the pages depending on what we did this week. So I'm going to save and close, and now you can see that those are added. And then for next week, they're just blank. So I created it, but I haven't put in the actual lesson. So that's how I'm going to do it. It saves me some time for next week, and that's it. So then what I'm going to do is I will make all the copies from this for my kids. So if I'm using a workbook that I make copies out of, I will create those copies or any, assignments that my kids need to do and get all of those ready and printed and in piles. So that's ready for them to go as. Next up for language arts is our Moving Beyond the Page Helen Keller. We're actually almost done with this, I believe. So I kind of have to like look back at the previous week and then, you know, add in stuff. But then here's language arts, moving beyond the page, Emma and Mila. Okay. Selected days of the week. The reason it keeps pushing my date out is because I told it when I set up my original planning that I was planning for the next school year, and I put in those school year dates. So I think I'm throwing it off by doing it before those dates. So just explaining why it keeps pushing the dates out. I think that may be the reason why. Okay, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Perfect. So I'm doing, well, actually, no, I don't need to do that because we're actually going to be ending this week. So just kidding. I think we're ending it on Wednesday. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to, lesson 7, read chapter 7 and 8. Okay. Now you could get super detailed in this, and like I could do like add another assignment for this day if I wanted to add like the specific activities. If I wanted to add a website, like, hey, go watch this video, like you can add so many more things. I'm just doing this so basic to create a checklist for myself. I have not put this on the schedule, and I'm not going to, because I pretty much just pick it up and read a couple pages until I think we're at a good stopping point. So things like this, I don't think I'm going to schedule in because it's not that it has to get done. It's more of like an add-on, and I don't really have a good starting and stopping points with this, so not a big deal. And then we are going to start our new unit, which is our last unit, which is Echo Mountain. I did do a whole video review on this, so I will link that down below, but it's from Barefoot Within the Trees. We will be reading this book, and so I'm just going to get this scheduled out. Now, we haven't started it yet, and so there is a schedule. So you're supposed to do 3 lessons a week, which works out perfect because we school 3 days a week. But so like lesson 1 is read chapters 1 to 8. Now, they are smaller chapters, but I don't know if we can get through all 8 chapters until I actually see like how long each chapter takes. So we may have to adjust the schedule from what Barefoot in the Trees recommends. So I'm just gonna add just this week one time on until I get a better grasp of it. So language arts, Echo Mountain, Emma and Mila. We're gonna do another day, April 27th. Oh, only Thursday. Okay, we are going to lesson 1, Gruel, read chapters 1 through 8. Perfect. So we basically went from moving beyond the page to Echo Mountain. Now what you can also do, and these are in the right order, so we start with word roots, then we go to Echo Mountain, and then my girls would complete like their math. If you wanted it different, you can like switch them around. And it will ask you, well, do you want to do this every day, only on Thursdays? I'm actually not going to do that. I'm going to move it back. Because I like how it is in kind of the flow we do it. Then actually we do read our economics book. Then the girls will break into their handwriting and math, which is independent. Emma is actually done with her handwriting, so only Mila has handwriting. And I'm going to add that to all of them. Yes, make them all the same. Okay, add them. So it just tells her to complete 2 pages. I don't really want to get on her book and look at all the pages, so I'm going to be lazy, save it. And I just know she needs to complete. So that's it. And then Mila does have math that I'll add. She is doing Math Prodigy. So obviously this is taking me some time. One, because I'm explaining it to you guys, which is, you know, I would normally not be sitting here talking through it as much to myself. This probably takes about 15 to 20 minutes to do. But as you can see, if I actually planned out the ahead weeks, I really wouldn't have to do much weekly, and that's kind of my goal going into next year. And I'm going to do a whole video on my whole plan for next year, but I kind of just wanted you guys to see the weekly process. Like I said, I kind of did do a couple of work for the next couple weeks, which is super awesome. So this is so far what our schedule is going to look like for this week, and this is what I will print out. Now, some other things on here, and now the only thing I don't like is, so see over here my to-do list, this doesn't print on your schedule when you print it, so that kind of bugs me. But like I said, I think this is supposed to be used online. Like you really don't need to print it. You could just check this off online, and I'm gonna get there. But I do like this to-do list. So I know that I need to schedule our map testing for the week of May 21st. That's the week after we end school. We're gonna do our tests that week. They're super quick, nothing crazy, but I just need to schedule those. I just want to give myself some reminders. So I'm going to do Tuesday, 10 a.m. pool filter cleaning. This is more for me, so I don't forget. And Wednesday, pool cleaning. That's more because I have to put our dogs away when we're getting our pool filters cleaned and the pool cleaned on Wednesday. To-do list. I'm mani-pedi for this weekend. We are going on vacation the following week, and so I just have a couple things to do. Pack for vacation, return lipstick. I ordered this lipstick off Amazon. I want to return, and I know this might sound like so silly, but I have to write my to-do list down. Pack. Oh, I already did pack for vacation. The dogs are going to our vet for boarding when we leave. So I already got a lot of their stuff packed up, like their food, their toys, blankets. So I don't really need to worry about that. I'm trying to think. I can add stuff as well. So that's my to-do list. So this, I'm going to go and print. Economy print is what I do. All right, so this is printed. So like I said, it looks just how last week's looked. And then I just keep this in the homeschool room, and I just, tomorrow, it's out of my brain now. I can just open up and say, okay, we need to do these pages. I'll get all the copies and pages ready for whatever they need. Have it with this. We might use the audio version of this book, and so I already downloaded that from our library and have that ready to go. When it comes to unit studies, so obviously we're doing Moving Beyond the Page and Echo Mountain. I go through what lessons we're going to be doing, and if we're going to be doing any activities, and do those activities require any extra materials like crafts. And so there is the one on Thursday says to do Air Dray Cly Sculpt a Moon Face, and then there's a recipe and there's a game to play. So I will just mentally get ready for that and buy the things, whatever that case may be. I will also look ahead to the following week, because I normally do shopping a week ahead of time, and just make sure that we're prepared. That is how I plan for our homeschool week. If you have questions, comments, leave those down below. If you do want to see more of that online schedule Homeschool Planet, leave it down below in the comments and I'll make it more of a priority. I am making a video on it. It's just not like on my quick to-do list, but it's kind of intense. Like, you can do grading, you can create transcripts. If you live in a state where you need like records, you can print out all your homeschool records too. So it really is a cool system. Just I'm learning it still. So I'll be sharing more on that for sure in the future. If you like these types of planning videos, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It just is a free way to support my channel. And if you're not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can continue seeing my content. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day, and we'll chat soon. Bye.